Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tokyo Tuesdays, the segment in which I head to the Tokyo Disney theme parks to sample and review every last eatery. For our 26th episode, we had a request from Josh Freilich. So, just for you, Josh, we're headed off to the Galactic Pizza Port. Located in Tomorrowland, to find the Galactic Pizza Port, you start by heading into the World Bazaar. Take the very first right you're able to, and continue straight until you exit out into Tomorrowland. Continue straight, passing by both the Monsters, Inc. Ride and Go Seek and Star Tours ride on your right, until you notice the staircase coming up in the path before you. Veer to your left so you can go under the stairs, through the outdoor seating area in the shade of the balcony above, and there, on your left, you'll find the Galactic Pizza Port. The Galactic Pizza Port is a 2-level counter-service eatery with both indoor and outdoor seating. While there is definitely more outdoor seating than indoor, you may want to try and find a seat inside anyways. Why? Because the indoors is full of so many things to look at. One entire wall is taken up by an animatronic show, where periodically, the alien running the machinery will perform small scenes. The machine he's running is nothing to sneeze at either. Take the time to look at this very creative machine, it's a lot of fun. Meanwhile, the counter at this location is located downstairs. Be wary of showing up around established meal times if you're in a rush, because the lines here are formidable. So today we are at the Galactic Pizza Port. I have ordered quite a bit of food because I couldn't really decide on what I wanted. I got a calzone, which is the chicken tomato calzone, if I'm remembering correctly. And then I got one of the specialty desserts, which unfortunately someone bumped into me while I was finding my table, and the cream on top got ruined. But as you can see, this is a cherry white chocolate mousse cake, so that looks tasty. And it also came with a specialty seasonal casserole dish, which is super cute. And last but not least, we have these guys again. So I'm going to try these and see if they're the same as were at the Light Bite Satellite, since that's going away. Light Bite Satellite, was that it? Regardless, I'm going to see if these are the same thing, see if they're just migrated to a new home. And then I have a drink, orange soda, not by choice, they just don't have melon soda here for some reason. Odd. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, calzone. Let's see how much of a mess I can make. So far, all crust. I've just realized that I didn't get any silverware. I don't remember seeing any at the counter. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to eat my cake. So it's kind of hard to see inside of this thing because the bubbles on the crust just sort of look inside the crust, and the actual calzone itself keeps sealing itself whenever I take a bite of it. Let's see if I can't pull it apart. Eee! Very hot. You can kind of see in there a little bit, maybe. Cheesy, tomatoey, chickeny, tasty. Okay, so there's all the filling sort of sank to the one end. There we go. You can see all the filling sort of sunk to the end of the calzone since I was holding it upright. Lots of cheese, some tomato. And obviously chicken. Oh, that burns. That burns quite a bit. Ow. Very ow. Now I'm nervous. Should have brought more napkins. I might have to give up on this just because it's very hot and I keep burning myself. But it's tasty. I really want to eat that cake, but I don't have a fork. And there's no sign of any up here. Well done, self. Let's go with the Mon. So I've got quite a bit of resistance to them. They are cold again, but a lot more resistance and a lot less sticky than the ones I had before. Different consistency. Still sticky, don't get me wrong, just like the last ones I had, you would touch and then they would pull away with you. So this one is purple on the inside. I'm gonna eat his face. These have sort of a pudding on the inside. That's almost just frosting. I am not complaining. Silence. I did not realize how loud it was in here until just this moment. This one's pink. Pink on the inside. Once again, I'm gonna eat his face. Is that strawberry or raspberry? I think it's strawberry. So far, between the strawberry and the chocolate, I actually prefer the strawberry. I am surprised. Last one. This one's hard to tell, but it's yellow on the inside. I'm gonna eat half his face. Not sure if I like this flavor. Not really digging it. Not awful, obviously, I'm still eating it, but would definitely replace with strawberry if that was an option. Which, by the way, it is not. Doing alterations to your food in Japan is pretty no. Asking for extra ketchup, asking for mustard to be left off, these sorts of things don't really fly in Japan. You'll probably have better luck trying that sort of thing at Disneyland than in other places in Japan, but just generally know that what you see on the menu is what you get, and alterations are hard to come by. Oh, that was a poor choice. Poor choices were made. The sweet orange soda after the little green mon. No. Now I'm gonna eat my cake without silverware. Oh, this is gonna go poorly. So it's got a little flower on top. That's pretty. This is one of the Easter desserts, just in case you were wondering. Ooh. So actually, if you remember the cake that we had at Plasma Rays, this is pretty similar. It's got mousse, it's got cake, it's got a jelly on the outside, only it is very definitely cherry flavored. It's very weird that the cartoons are still in English. Usually they dub that. I don't know. Maybe it's to emphasize the alienness of this place. See if the soda tastes any better now. Nope. All right, so I am going to head on out and continue doing my thing, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, bye. Home again, how was it? Service is a 2 out of 5. Now, this could potentially be a 3 out of 5 if you go at a different point during the day, but during my visit, I was in line for almost half an hour. which isn't great for a counter service location. Additionally, there was something happening in my line in particular where the line was not moving. Now, none of the lines were moving particularly quickly, but it was somewhat frustrating watching the lines on either side of me advance while my line stayed still. Once I did finally reach the front of the line, they didn't give me any silverware with my food. Now, I could have probably gotten the silverware out of the silverware wells, so this is mostly my fault, but once I left the counter, there was no getting back up there to get the silverware. So, 2 out of 5. Atmosphere. Atmosphere, on the other hand, is a 4 out of 5. They have a whole bunch of cartoons and little live-action shorts that they play on the TVs located on the indoors of this location, which help with the waiting in line, and they're quite fun as well. The futuristic sleek of the doors and the windows adds to the atmosphere, and the spiral staircases combined with the exposed pipes and girders is really interesting and I think appropriately futuristic. If I had one complaint, it would be if you look really hard at the main set piece, you can notice behind it areas of just plain gray wall, which I don't want to see that. I don't want to see plain gray wall. I want to see grates and pipes and wires and girders and stuff like this, but that is extremely nitpicky, so 4 out of 5. Price point. Price is a 3 out of 5. The calzones are sizable, the desserts are either unique or come with seasonal dishes which help make up the price cost. There's not a lot to say here. The food is hearty and filling, but not the cheapest in the park. Good for an actual meal? Yeah, 3 out of 5. The food itself. The food is a 3 out of 5. Everything here is pretty solid. I had some issues with my calzone with all of the contents sliding to one side of the shell, but I think if you eat it with utensils like you're supposed to, that shouldn't be an issue. The little green mon, which is an adorable pun by the way, were delicious, and unlike the scrump mon that I had before, actually matched what their listed flavors were supposed to be, which were chocolate, strawberry, and custard. It's an adorable snack, it's delicious food, do recommend. 3 out of 5. Overall rating. Overall, this gives the Pan-Galactic Pizza Port an average rating of 3 out of 5. Solid, round, very nice. The lineup. Before we can get into the nitty-gritty of this week's lineup, I have a confession to make. Last week we reviewed Village Pastry and I made a mistake. I called this a counter service location, and it is actually a cart service location. I have gone ahead and moved it over to the appropriate list, but I just wanted to apologize for that. On to this week. With a 3 out of 5, this ties the Pan-Galactic Pizza Port with a whole number of eateries. In quality, it tends to hover around Camp Woodchuck Kitchen. Both of these eateries have amazing atmosphere and delicious food, but they both also have issues with long waits in line. Between the two, I tend to prefer sci-fi to camping, but I'm going to slot the Pan-Galactic Pizza Port in underneath Camp Woodchuck Kitchen. I feel like Camp Woodchuck Kitchen has slightly more creative food, and that's really the tiebreaker here. Both are good eateries, and I recommend both of them, but I have to break the list down somehow. So this will earn it 22nd place on the master list. Meanwhile, over on the counter service location, it's facing a similar series of ties, and this time is coming in at 10th place. So that's it for this week. Come back next week if you want to find out where I'll be then. Hint, the food at next week's location is more than a little foul. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave those down below. We'd love to hear from you. A special thanks once again to Josh Freilich for this week's episode suggestion. If social media is more your flavor, you can find us there. Links to that in the description box below. Give this video a big ol' thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you like what we do, and I will see you next week for another Tokyo Tuesday.